Recording in progress.
You're a genius. See, I just don't like how it does that weird shit, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's not perfect.
Welcome to a new episode of The Usual Saints. I'm Mike D this week here with Jeremy, who doesn't like my intro, but hey, he never does an intro himself. So guess who's stuck at doing it and has two thumbs? This guy. That's me.
Yeah, we got that.
If you wanted to do it one week, but I don't think your internet connection could handle you actually talking for 5 seconds without cutting in and out. So
Fight me.
Ah, there it goes right there. Was that intentional? Did you actually pause between the bye and it's me or no? No? Oh, okay. So yeah, back to the bad internet. So let's see. We just put out a new episode last week, but we actually recorded it like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. So I don't remember. We were talking about Ted Lasso and Big Brother. I'm not caught up on Big Brother, so please don't spoil anything. The last thing I saw was
gets evicted.
Last thing I saw was Christian get HOH. I started watching some episodes in New York with Sophie, but we didn't have time. We were too busy. So don't spoil anything for me. Yeah. It'd be funny if he came back.
Janelle's back.
Janelle.
Mike Boogie's there somewhere. I don't know why.
Isn't he dead?
I don't think so.
Speaking of dead people,
I reached out to him to try to do the podcast, and he said he had his own and was too busy.
Well, that's nice. You don't tell me that you reach out to people. You only tell me the one person you got.
Well, yeah. Why would I tell you a bunch of people that don't want to do it?
It'd be interesting to know who you reached out to, who actually responded. Because to be fair, I've reached out to many people, some A-listers, some Z-listers, and they just don't respond. But if someone takes the time to respond to you, that's different than them not responding at all.
Yeah. Like I said, he responded, but said he was too busy. It's worth a shot.
He's the only one you can think of. You don't want to call anyone out right now?
Yeah, I haven't got a lot of responses in the negative. I've just not gotten any responses. I try.
Any YouTube viewers who actually watch this podcast on YouTube, you'll see that half of our background is this new fireside chat thing that Zoom has, but not Jeremy's window because he's using a Chromebook. And kids, that's why we don't use a Chromebook for our personal devices. Only if the school makes you use it. Don't be like Jeremy. Bad Jeremy. Oh, come on. I'm funny. I almost want to switch back to mine because I like my background better. Let's see. Let's switch back to mine. Stop immersive view for everyone. Participants will return to the view. Yes, let's do this. Hey, look, my pops and my posters and everything. Jeremy's been looking at the entire time. Maybe? No?
You said you were white.
Oh, well, I am white. Thank you.
The background was just white.
Anyway, Jeremy, do you want to ask me how my trip to New York was?
Mike, how was your trip to New York?
It was fine. You saw me posting things. Went to Niagara Falls, went to Six Flags.
Just you, or did Heather go?
No, Heather stayed here with the dog, which I don't think she will ever do again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the dog, they say that alpha and beta thing doesn't actually exist, but I'm pretty sure it does because my dog only listens to me. I think they say it only doesn't exist in humans, but like she'll listen to me. Anyone else, like right now she's laying on the floor quiet. Anyone else was here, if she was out in the hallway or out in the living room with anyone else, she'd be barking at them. She wouldn't leave them alone. Me? I don't know. She's terrified of me. That's why you have to instill fear. I hope you've done this in your stepchildren. You've instilled the fear, the wrath of God. No,
I'm not quite sure how that works.
Oh, well, yeah. That's how I do it. It works for me.
So is today the first day of school or what?
Tomorrow. You know that. You're fucking... Oh, I mean, by the time this comes out, it'll be the first week over, but yeah.
Well, and it's a different county, so I don't know what the first day of school is for you guys.
You don't keep abreast of all that?
No. Why would I care what the first day of school is for a different county?
I don't know. Why would anyone care about anything?
It's true.
Isn't that like a deep thought from... I'm a newfound philosopher. I'm a new age philosopher.
Deep thought from Jack Handy.
Yeah.
I love those.
I love when I can pull stuff out.
I can't. Oh, nice. I think I had one on my fridge in college. If you're being stung by bees and more bees show up, just keep running. It's not going to get better, or something to that effect. I was like, okay.
I probably have that in here. It takes a big man to cry, but it takes a bigger man to laugh at that man. If you ever fall off the Sears Tower, just go real limp, because maybe you'll look like a dummy and people will try to catch you because, hey, free dummy. That was good shit, you know. It's just funny that you mentioned it, and I realized I still had that book of postcards sitting behind me. Never sent them out. Never had anyone to send them to, you know. So.
I got magnets. I had them on my like little mini fridge in college. Whatever.
So I went to Niagara Falls. You ever been to Niagara Falls?
I have.
It was fun. I never, I didn't know what to expect. My videos are pretty good. I feel like I tried to do a little bit of video and try to be there in person as well, you know, take it in as a human being rather than having my camera in front of me.
Did you get to do Maid of the Mist or any of that stuff, or is that all a Canadian side?
Isn't Maid of the Mist the only way you can look at Niagara Falls from the water?
Yeah, from the water, but I didn't know if it was from the Canadian side or not.
No, Canadians got their own shit. I forget what it was called. Niagara something. It wasn't as fancy sounding as Maid of the Mist, but the Canadians got their own little ramp from the other side.
I was going to say, Maid of the Mist is what we did from the Canadian side, so I assumed that was it.
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
When did you do this?
Oh, would have been 20 some years ago.
See, I was just there. I'm telling you, Maid of the Mist launches unless they move their entire port from the American side, because we couldn't go to the Canadian side. A, because Sophie didn't have her passport card updated, it expired. And B, because of all of the COVID numbers going up, Canada's like, hey, fuck you, Americans. We're shutting down except for essential travel. So I wouldn't have even been able to go over it.
Are you kidding me? They closed their borders off to people who don't, they don't want in their country.
Oh,
it's like they have immigration policy.
People who spread disease, who don't wear masks and don't listen to. Oh, are you saying that Mexicans spread disease and don't wear masks?
You think those guys running through that desert are wearing a mask?
I think they don't spread disease.
Why not?
I think they'd be willing to take it.
They're all vaccinated.
They'd be willing to take a vaccination. I don't think any of us Americans going into Canada that aren't already vaccinated are going to be willing to take a shot if the Canadians ask us to.
I'm pretty sure no one's asking the guys coming across the southern border if they're vaccinated or not.
I would, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that's working right now.
You're such a harsh and uncaring person with human beings.
Not uncaring.
You don't want them to
cost money.
You don't want them to get away from the cartels and everyone that they're running from.
I have no problem with them legally immigrating to this country.
How long does that process take?
I don't know.
How long would they have to run from the cartels in Honduras or whatever? If they got to the Mexican border, were being chased, would they last the 6 years or however long it takes to get?
I think if they have a legitimate fear for their life, I think it's an expedited process.
Expedited process, like my expedited passport that takes 3 months.
Hey, here's a policy, man. Change the way the policy works.
I would,
but just letting them come in doesn't really work out for me.
I think it works for me. I don't have a problem with it. They can do the work that I don't want to do. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
I'm good with it. Anyway, Niagara Falls, Maid of the Mist is on the U.S. side. So we did that. We did a jet boat tour, which I didn't realize wasn't going to go all the way up to Niagara Falls because of all the rapids they have, the Class 6 rapids. So you can only go to a certain point. So we had to go to Youngstown or Lewiston. We went to both of them and rode a jet boat up some rapids. That was fun. Sophie got a kick out of that. And we explored a little bit of, small towns. Niagara Falls, by the way, is a really shitty town. I don't know if you...
Well, the Canadian side is actually fairly nice. What I remember the American side, you went to the Canadian side if you could.
Yeah, so we didn't have our passports, so we couldn't. And then, like I said, they shut it down anyway. But Niagara Falls, the city, shuts down. So we got there at 9 o'clock and we wanted dinner. And literally, there was nowhere to eat. There was one place called the Anchor Bar, which my cousin refused to eat at because she walked in and she said, "Do you guys smell that smell?" And I'm like, I smelled something, but I didn't know what it was. And I was like, I didn't mind it. I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't pleasant, but I didn't know what it was. She said she couldn't eat there. So we wound up calling every place, within a 5-mile radius that we might be able to get to. No place was open. Hard Rock Cafe was closed even. This is a Wednesday night at like 9 p.m. Everything's closed. Okay. We find one place called Mr. Ventri's Pizza, I think. And so my cousin calls and she says, "Hey, are you guys open?" "Yeah, we're open till 2 a.m. Are you guys open for dine-in?" Because we wanted to dine in for whatever reason. And they're like, "Yeah, but we're located on Pierce Avenue." And we're like, my cousin's like, "Okay, so." Pierce Avenue is like saying, "Hey, but we're located on Avenue D in Fort Pierce." That's the essence of what he was trying to get across on the phone. But we went there, we ate there. I didn't like the pizza so much, too much sauce. My cousin said it was good, whatever. Chicken tenders were fine. They were nothing to write home about, as they say. It was okay. It got better from there, but I just didn't realize how shitty the neighborhood was. The hotel we stayed at was actually good. It was called the Red Coach Inn. Apparently, it's where Pam and Jim got married in The Office. Don't know.
Nice.
Yeah. So they didn't have any, I thought they had like a little plaque or something about that, but I guess they don't really give a shit about that. So yeah.
I think they'd have more people show up for that.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize it until I got there and just Googled Red Coach Inn. So that was interesting. All in all, it was fun. I got a lot of nice pictures. I like to take pictures when I'm out. We went to the cat cafe. My cousins got allergic and only stayed for 20 minutes, which they would have told me that they didn't want to go beforehand, but that's fine. That turned into a whole fiasco.
Did you get to go down behind the waterfall?
What?
Or is that the Canadian side?
You mean like where you can walk? Well, so I saw some people walking up close to the U.S. falls. I didn't see anyone around the Canadian falls like that, the Horseshoe Falls. But we didn't do that. So that's something to do for next time, because I think Heather would really like it. So
yeah, the Canadian side, you actually go in. They got the building right there where the falls are. And there's actually an elevator that takes you down to the lower level, and they've tunneled out behind the falls. So you can you walk up, through a tunnel, and you're at the back of the waterfall. There's no treasure there, just to video games have, you trying not to laugh. Don't be a dick.
Oh, I'm not trying. It's I mean,
fuck you.
No, Canada doesn't.
Cool. I mean,
Canada doesn't want me there now, so I can't see behind your falls like you saw.
I think Monday you can go.
Why?
They've opened their border Monday to vaccinated people. I don't know if it was today or next week.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it actually started today.
Well, like I said, it was fine. Next time, it's so far west. It's like 4 hours from Albany, where I was staying at my parents' place, my place up there. So it's just so far away. We did get to see my cousin Alana's college she's going to, SUNY Geneseo. That was actually really cool. I never really, like I've stated before, I never really had the real college experience, but it's a small college campus. Out of all the SUNY campuses, it's probably, I don't even know. It's definitely less than 10 buildings. If 10 buildings is less than 10 buildings, the main street is like a real small town main street. It's got like a nice bakery. It's got a small movie theater that's close enough. It's a real nice place. So I think she'll enjoy it. She was upset to hear that the colleges and universities will be requiring people to wear masks again. She wasn't anticipating that. She thought she'd be able to have the college experience. She's fully vaccinated, so she thought she was good to go. So when she got that email from SUNY, she was pretty bummed, but hopefully things get back to normal eventually if this Delta variant can settle the fuck down and stop fucking everyone's lives up. But we'll see how that goes. Florida's not doing so hot with that now. So we'll see how that goes. But then we went to Lake George, which is a pretty big lake in upstate New York. and went to Six Flags. We rode all the rides we wanted to that were open. Six Flags is not like Universal or Disney or SeaWorld, where there might be one attraction that's down and they usually are pretty good about getting it back up and running sooner or later. Six Flags must have had like half their attractions, their roller coasters not working. So that was a bummer. And Sophie didn't want to go in the water park, even though she did tell me she wanted to. And that's why we stayed at a shitty hotel there, because she didn't want her hair color. She can't get chlorine in the hair. She had the colored hair. So we skipped the water park, but we did walk around Lake George on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. They had a whole bunch of small shops. That's what we did, like a lot of small shop stuff. We didn't buy a lot of things because we didn't have a lot of room on the way back. I went to some place called House of Frankenstein, which is a wax museum in Lake George. You know, it's kind of campy, but Sophie liked it. She said she would go back again. I mean, it was good for me for one time. If Heather wanted to go, if someone who we were going with wanted to go, I'd go again. But would I want to go again with just me and Sophie? Nah. But it was fine. Yeah.
Fly up and back?
Yeah. That was another thing. So the flight up was fine. The flight back, we were supposed to leave at 1:50 yesterday. Wound up not leaving till like 3:20, 3:30 maybe.
Were you on the plane the whole time?
Yeah. And then,
oh, that sucks.
Yeah. And they're telling us, the captain's literally telling us, and he doesn't have any panic in his voice. And maybe that's why I didn't fight and say, let's change flights, even though we're already on the plane. He's like, yeah, so we have this tech guy up here. He's resetting the computer program and we have to do some paperwork. And then we're going to be going from there. And, you know, in my mind, I'm like, resetting the computer program that flies the plane. He talks about how there's redundant programs and all this kind of shit. So that made me feel a little better. But is he just saying that to keep us on the plane, or are we going to crash midair? And obviously we didn't, because I'm here. But it was a little scary.
I don't like flying, so we got to the end of the runway one time, and you know how they rev up the engines to start taxiing down the runway. Well, they start revving up the engines, and there's this loud noise, and then the engines stop. Okay, well, something's obviously wrong, so we'll head back. Nope. Hear them start revving up the engines again. You know, getting ready to roll, and loud noise, and the engines stop. All right, now we're definitely going to head back. Yeah, there's no way, something's obviously wrong. We're going to go back and figure this out. And for a third time, they start revving the engines up. I'm like, you motherfuckers. I want to fuck off this plane right now. Luckily, there's a loud noise again, and we finally fucking went back because I was freaking the fuck out.
Just needed a new starter.
Not get along. Yeah, that's what it was. New starter. Motherfuckers. I was like,
the alternate,
kidding me.
The alternator just needed to be replaced.
The fucking engine just stopped working, and you motherfuckers are going to just let's try it again. No, that's not how this shit works. It's a plane. You don't just pull over to the side of the road if the engine dies. You fucking have to glide somewhere if you can.
I was a little worried. Like, so, well, we were probably like 20,000 feet, maybe 10,000 feet. I don't know. And there was this like high pitched noise that I hadn't heard before. It wasn't like an explosion. It wasn't anything too crazy, but it was something I noticed. And with the problems we had just had, we had just taken off. I'm like, what's this noise? But, I'm keeping it to myself. I don't want to worry Sophie. So I'm breathing. I'm just playing games on the touchscreen computer. I'm looking at my phone, doing whatever I can to keep myself occupied. And eventually we got back to Florida. The only thing that sucked but she got it done today. Sophie wanted some clothes for school because, listen, high school is different than middle school. You might want to change some things. You might want to, make sure you want to wear what you want to wear, look how you want to look. She's getting her hair done now, but she wanted to go to this store. And we went to the mall on Saturday in Albany. The store was there, but she's too shy. She didn't want to look at the clothes in person. She just wanted to order them online. But then she changed her mind when I told her Saturday night, hey, I'll buy you the outfit if you are willing to talk to the salesperson and try things on in the changing room, blah, blah, blah. So she agreed to that, but then the mall was closed Saturday night. So then she said, it opens at 11 a.m. Sunday. Okay, cool. We go to the mall 11 a.m. Sunday. Store's closed because she looked at the wrong thing because it doesn't open until noon. Our flight's at 1:50, allegedly. And so we're supposed to be there, theoretically 2 hours beforehand, even though you don't need that much unless you're in a major city. So we unfortunately couldn't do it in Albany. but yeah, so she just got it done today. Luckily, she got the outfits that she wants, so she has her own little. I remember I remember having my little look for high school. I think I had some flannel, things like that. Back in the '90s. This is before you joined us. You joined us a few months in, didn't you?
Yeah,
yeah.
We saw a '90s party on one of the shows that my wife and I watch. They had a '90s party, and they're all in like neon colors and shit. And I'm like, that's not fucking '90s. Where's the flannel and Doc Martens? What the fuck? That's not '90s. It's like an '80s, if anything. What the fuck?
Yeah. So that was it. That was fun, but we'll see. We'll see how school goes first week. Like I said, I wanted to get this done early because now I got to wake up at 6 a.m. to take her to school. And then,
so they don't have a bus anymore, huh?
So they probably do, but Heather's anti-bus. So yeah. I don't know. You have to talk to Heather.
So is Heather picking her up from school every day then?
No.
Who's picking her up?
We're not quite sure on that yet. No, so listen, my in-laws live in
that's a 40-minute drive, right?
30 for here, from where I am, because I live so south. I can hop on 95 and just go on Indrio and just go, yeah. But so my in-laws, and if you listen to the podcast, I know you don't, but Ernie and Carol, hey, you can pick up Sophie. No, so their place they were working at closed. So I think right now they're unemployed. And so we asked them, and I guess they didn't take us as seriously as maybe I thought they would have. Like, hey, would you guys be willing to help out with Sophie? Just at least get her to your house. We don't really care if you babysit her. If someone can just get her to the house, we can pick her up from the house whenever we're done from work. And they were like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Just let us know. I talked to Heather last night. Heather's like, oh, well, I think they just meant like it was kind of an occasional thing. I'm like, no, motherfucker, I want them to pick her up every day because my parents are still in New York. Heather has a coworker that Sophie can go hang out with. I guess her daughter's very similar to Sophie, very similar personality and likes and things like that. So she can go there, but then it's like a matter of getting those two kids to that coworker's house. And like it might involve riding a bus. And is the bus going to allow Sophie to get on that bus? I don't know if that's the case. So there's a lot of variables that I don't know the answer to right now.
You'd have to probably sign some papers or whatever saying, hey, this is where she's going to go after school every day.
Yeah. So I got to talk to someone about that and figure all that out. So I don't know, like tomorrow, I think I'm planning on picking her up because I'm on call. So we'll see what happens. The rest of my parents aren't going to be back till mid-October, November. So they were planning on helping out. They were planning on coming back September, but that's changed. So we'll see.
That's a long car ride every day to back and forth.
Hey, at least I can catch up on my podcast. Well,
I mean, if your parents are making it twice a day, that's a lot of driving.
Yeah, I know, but they're willing, but we'll see. I hope to have some more information when Heather gets home from getting Sophie's haircut. But you got to deliver it.
I know. I'm not answering it.
All right. So should we just get all this? Should we do 2 parts?
Sure.
Let's do 2 parts. That way I can put the ad in the middle so it starts out with the cold open. But we haven't said anything funny enough to start with the cold open yet. So
no, not so much.
Maybe me laughing at, or you say no, you try to keep a straight face and be like, I'm not trying. That's pretty good. I like that. Maybe I'll use that.
I assumed you would. It's about you, so it's definitely going to be your favorite.
It's not about me. Hey, you can edit the show. Take it. Do what you want with it.
Come on.
I am not.
A little bit.
I do have quite a sexy voice, though. I have to say.
It's all about you.
All right, so we'll come back. We'll cover our topics. You've been listening to The Usual Saints. We'll be right back.
What the fuck? You're recording this?
Jeremy said nothing funny in the 5-second interim, so I have nothing to use for the after talk or the before talk.
What are you gonna do?
Welcome back to The Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here with Jeremy this week. Vinny claims he was going to make it. He's like, I can do tonight. And then he's like, some douche nozzle called out 10 minutes before his shift. I can't be there. Do I sound like Vinny? Is it a good Vinny or no?
No. Sounds like my cousin. It sounds like my cousin Vinny, but not Vinny that does this show.
Has she? That's good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at the topic list. Olympics. Why do you want to talk about Olympics?
Let's go with deaths. Come on.
Who else died besides Marky Post? Anyone?
I don't know that I've heard anybody. It was funny though. We were just talking about Night Court recently in one of the shows, right?
Yeah, because Charles Robinson died, and so it's like they're all dying. Someone's got to put like a bodyguard on John Larroquette and Richard Mall and Marshall Warfield. So I'm hoping they're doing okay. Larroquette, I know he's involved in the new Night Court, but I mean, it's hard for me to believe Marky Post was 70. Let alone, I didn't know that she had cancer. Yeah, was she a star now? No. Last thing I saw her in was There's Something About Mary. But it's just weird when you maybe she kept it private, but I thought I read that some people had known about it, like it had been released. So since I didn't know about it, it was kind of shocking. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I heard she had cancer and that's what she died of. It was kind of like, wow, what the fuck? She's dead. And I picture her as like the cute chick from Night Court. And, you think about it now, you're like, yeah, she was in her 30s then, we're early 40s now, it's like we're older than she was at the time and now she's dead. And it just makes you question your mortality, Jeremy, doesn't it?
No.
Does it make you contemplate why is life?
I figure I got another 5-10 years and,
That's all you got?
Yeah, I'm overweight. What are you going to
do? Lose weight.
Okay, thanks. How's that working for you?
It's working okay. Actually, I gained 3 pounds when I was in New York.
There you go.
They had so many good desserts and ice cream. I went to this place in Orlando called Rock and Brews. I think it's called Rock and Brews. It's right near the airport. Near the airport on Semoran. And because Sophie wanted dinner, we hadn't really eaten all day because every place at the Albany airport was closed. Chick-fil-A doesn't open on Sunday. So we couldn't eat anything.
Travel on Sundays.
I wanted as much time as I could have in New York. So, but you're right. I got there on a Saturday and I thought to myself, oh, I can get some Chick-fil-A because there's no Chick-fil-A in Albany and I can bring it out to Sophie who's outside waiting for me. And I'm like, nah. And so I went outside and I think she was a little disappointed that I didn't bring her Chick-fil-A from inside the airport. And it's not like I could go back in and go get it. So we just went to Olive Garden instead. But
sampling the local cuisine.
That was Sophie's choice, not mine. So yeah, I mean, you gotta lose weight. I gotta lose weight. I'm back home. So today I had a fiber thin. Oh, by the way, I should eat my raisins. I had a fiber thin and some Sun-made raisins. Ooh, raisin snacks. 60 calories. So in all total today, I've had 200. No, are they 90 or 100? I probably had 240 to 260 calories, and this is another 60 right here. Am I boring you with my talk of how to lose weight? Why is it not good?
You're not supposed to eat that few calories.
Then I lose weight. This is how I do it.
That's not how that's supposed to work, man.
You can't eat a fucking spaghetti dinner lunch and expect to lose weight. You can't eat purple raindrops at Rockin' Brews, which are these delicious little beignet balls filled with liquid chocolate and covered with raspberry and whipped cream, and expect to lose weight. But they were so good. They were the best dessert. I think they passed the tilted gilts, especially since there's no more tilted kilts around here, as my favorite dessert. So you definitely need to try that out, Jeremy, even if it kills you.
Yeah. All right. Probably not going to happen, but thanks. The Olympics are over. They ended this past weekend.
Oh, I see. America came out on top.
Just barely. They won the overall medal count pretty handedly, but the last night they won, I think, 3 golds the last night to get ahead of China in the gold medal count.
Woo! Are you not hearing my snoring? Yeah. Are you still?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that'll wake some people up from your talk about your pictures of flowers and pretty things when you were on vacation. The fucking stupidest conversation we've ever had on this show. But, whatever. Moving along.
Do you want me to draw you like one of my French girls?
It's all about you. It's what's important to you is what it must be interesting. Nobody else. That's cool. Don't worry about it. Moving on.
I'm the one who edits the show. I'm the one who decides.
Although that might be why we don't have more listeners.
I think it's because I have you as a co-host.
Well, were you doing better when I wasn't here?
I don't know. Anyway. Olympics are boring as fuck, man. I'm sorry. The only interesting things are when something goes wrong. Or no, I'll give you an example. What was it? The pole vaulting thing. That was kind of nice to see that these two guys who were somehow friends from different countries, they shared the gold medal. High jump. Because of some obscure Olympic rule that said basically like if they didn't want to go any further, if they didn't want to do the whole jump off or whatever, that they could share. So that was nice to see. And then you got the French marathon runner who goes past the table of fucking water and just knocks over every fucking cup. And so
I saw that today. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, and so everyone behind him is like, what the fuck? But you got the people who are pushing forward more water. They're prepared. But still, no one's going to stop to get a water in a marathon. So he literally fucked the 5 or 10 people behind him until they could get that set up again. So that kind of stuff is interesting. I mean, I don't really get into the whole Simone Biles thing. I don't know if you do, because like mental health isn't something to joke about. So whether or not she thought it was significant enough for her to pull herself from a fucking Olympics, that's all she does. So, I mean, you gotta think that to her, being as great a gymnast as everyone says she is, I don't know anything about it, that it was serious enough for her to pull. So that anyone who questions that is a idiot and shouldn't talk about it, because I read some kind of comparison, like if someone broke their leg or something else, something physical, a lot of these people who are saying Simone Biles shouldn't have pulled out will be like, oh, they tried their best, oh, good job, blah blah blah. But someone pulls out for a mental health reason, they're like, you need to go in there and do that. Fuck you, go do it. You need to represent America. Like, what kind of bullshit is that?
I got no problem with what she did. For me, Olympics are more about even the sports I've never heard of, never watched. There's stories there. There's teams that they're underdog stories. There's just 19-year-old kids who are beating the best in the world at this obscure sport that I've never seen before in my life. But some 19-year-old girl from freaking Washington State is the best in the world at it. Some girl from Alaska, fucking wins a swimming medal when nobody fucking even had her on the list. Some guy from Tunisia wins a medal from, out of nowhere that nobody expected. I mean, stories like that are it's cool to me to watch that and watch competition, people are the best in the world at something. And, it's just cool to kind of watch and see, I mean, yeah, you still got some of the, national pride, and I probably obviously root for the Americans more than I do the Russians or the Chinese, but I could still sit there and watch diving with the wife and fucking some 14-year-old Chinese girls, scoring perfect 10 dives and be like, how the fuck do they do that at fucking 14 years old? I have a 14-year-old upstairs. Nope, no. Can't do that shit. It's, just fucking impressive.
Maybe he's got to get the surgery first if he wants to be a 14-year-old girl. And then he could probably focus on the swimming or the diving. Are you trying to hold that face so you don't laugh?
It just wasn't funny.
All right, let's see. Like I said, we're going to do a short show this week. You know what I think it is? This is kind of meta. Regarding like listeners and everything. And honestly, I don't think Anchor's thing is actually that accurate from everything I'm reading. But either way, no matter how many people listen to this, whether it's 0 or whether it's 100 or 1,000, it doesn't matter. I think
or
people
just Heather.
I don't know if it's just Heather. I don't know if she listens. No, I feel like people miss the 4 of us. So like, almost like, after season 2 here ends in a few episodes, because this is going to be episode 36, which only leaves us one more because we do 37 episodes a season. Why, Jeremy?
I don't fucking know.
Because of Clerks, man. Jeez.
You're anal retentive.
No, Clerks.
I saw they got Clerks 37 coming.
Clerks 3.
3.
So I think that people like our dynamic with the four of us. So, not that I'm not amazing to listen to. I mean, my voice, it's like one of those ASMR things. See, look, it puts you to sleep. It calms you down.
Tell us more about your trip to Niagara Falls.
Shut up. You asked.
Oh, sorry. You said, aren't you going to ask me about my trip? I'm pretty sure you said, aren't you going to ask me about my trip? I did not ask. I was not going to ask. But,
I thought it was.
Obviously, we're going to talk about it one way or the other.
I thought it was better than bagging on your shitty internet connection for the millionth time. Can you call AT&T?
It's just too much shit hooked up to it, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, let's see. What else we got? Well, I think because I know you don't want to talk about. Well, do you want to talk about your 2 topics that you left on there, or you want to leave those off?
We can wait for a day with more people.
More people, yeah. I can't count on the guest host because Bethy's always busy with Alana about to go to college, and my uncle claims he wants to be on more shows. And then when I say, "Oh yeah, when do you want to be on a show?" He's like, "Oh, in the future." He's not really committal. And then Vince is like, whatever. I don't know what his deal is. So let's see. A lot of it more is
just nice.
What for us?
Tropical. Well, for the Caribbean right now, tropical storm watches.
Yeah, we'll see how that happens. Hopefully, no hurricanes. I don't want to.
It's one of those things where it shows, Tuesday it'll be here, and then it'll be like a week from Tuesday by the time it shows up.
So let's see. So I just actually had a little interaction with my local school board members because the mask IRC.
Is this our Chad moment of the week?
Do you want a theme song? You should make a theme song. Go ahead.
Did you have
something.
A Chad moment this week? I'm sure you did on vacation.
I'm sure I did on vacation.
Come on. Let's hear it. What was the Chad story of the week?
I have so many.
I'm sure you do. What did you get for free?
What did we get?
Upgrade at the airport?
No. I do need to complain to Hertz though, and I will be sending them.
There we go.
I will be sending them an email. So my mom had a doctor's appointment, so I couldn't take their van because I didn't rent a car when I got up there. So I wound up having to rent a car, and every rental car was $150, $200 a day. And I'm like, no. So I found Hertz had a transit van, a Ford Transit, for $37 a day. I'm like, all right, that sounds good. I'm like, I can drive a Transit. I used to drive the big trucks. I know what I'm doing. So I get there. It's just like the trucks I used to drive. I'm like, no problem. I get in it. I drive it. No problem. Me and Sophie go to Lake George. We park for dinner. It's getting dark. We parked at this restaurant that she wanted to go to after we left Six Flags. And we get back from dinner, and it's 9, 10 o'clock probably at that time. It's dark. And we open the doors of the transit van, and the seats are moving because there's roaches. There's a German cockroach infestation inside the van.
That's why it was $37. Would have been $25 without the roaches.
No, shouldn't it be more without the roaches?
No, those are extra.
You pay extra roaches. So the place was closed. I couldn't complain to them then. So we just drove to the hotel, hoping that we weren't going to find anything crawling on us. We both showered that night. In the hotel itself, like I said before, wasn't such a great thing. We went back, dropped it off the next day after we finished in Lake George, still hoping that no roaches were going to crawl on us. We dropped it off. They were closed. I emailed them, let them know. And I took a picture of the gold seal of cleanliness on the outside of the truck. I said, "Hey, so just FYI, you have this up here, but there's a bunch of trash in your truck that you left for us, as well as you have a roach infestation, and we didn't want to bomb it because we didn't know if it was against your policy to have a truck fumigated, have a smell to it." So haven't heard back from them about that. But they did send me a survey thing, which I'll be taking today.
Did you take any pictures of the roaches to prove that they were in there, or no?
All they have to do is open up the middle cabinet, and they will be greeted with many, many little friends.
Yeah, they'll just lie, though.
That's fine.
Proof.
No, because they all scattered, or we killed them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like I said, if nothing happens to it, that's fine. I just won't be using Hertz anymore. I mean,
I'm a little disappointed that you didn't go Chad at that moment, that you're waiting, and now, I mean, it's days after the fact. That's very un-Chad like of you.
Have you ever tried to take a picture of a cockroach? They don't like to hang around when light comes around.
Yeah. No, I meant you didn't call someone that night and complain and get them out there with a replacement car for you that night at that point.
They were closed. What am I going to do?
There's a national number.
Maybe. So
wake somebody's ass up.
I don't know. I'm about to deal with that. We'll see. We'll see what comes of that. So, that's my Chad moment. I guess that's the biggest one. That's all I got.
Well, not yet. You haven't complained.
Yeah, you're right. Not yet. I honestly forgot. So I was talking about the school board. That's right. So Mask IRC is a Facebook group for Indian County. They obviously believe that with the coronavirus and Florida having higher numbers than ever during the whole pandemic, and especially now with kids going back to school tomorrow, that there should be some sort of mask mandate like Duval and Broward and Alachua and to an extent Orange have mandated. Orange has not mandated students needing to wear masks. They've mandated all employees need to. Props on them, but it's a half measure. It needs to be a full measure. So Mask IRC kind of had this form letter they told us we should send to this email address that goes to all school board members. To my shock, I actually got a reply from one of the school board members, and she basically was saying that I didn't make fun of her wording. I pointed her wording out to her. She said that if they put in a mask mandate in Indian River County, that they would lose funding from the state. That is not true, as shown in multiple articles. And if they don't follow the executive order, they could lose funding. Now, that is by no means now this seems like a little just me playing with letters and words right there, but there's a major difference right there. There's not a definitive there. The other thing is she wanted to point out to me that they wouldn't want to mandate any vaccines for anyone, and that they don't want to tell people how to take the health of their kids and things like that. And I went ahead and helpfully pointed out to her the mandated vaccines that the county already requires for kindergartners and seventh graders. And she wanted to point out to me that, that's the vaccine for COVID is not fully approved. And I'm like, whatever, you just keep saying what you're going to say. I know you're not, I wasn't expecting anyone to do anything based off an email. I was surprised I got a reply, but that just brings us to the rest of the categories, basically, except for the Cuomo shit, which I know you're waiting to pounce on.
I'm waiting for your opinion on that.
We'll get around to it. All right. So let's finish with DeSantis. So DeSantis and his cronies are using this Hope Scholarship, I believe it's called, which was intended for bullying victims. So if your kid gets bullied at school, and if the school is not dealing with it to your satisfaction, if it's so severe that the kid can't stay at that school, they're supposed to be able to use this scholarship to go to a private school, like fully taken care of. And only 38 students have taken advantage of that in the past few years, which either speaks to the lack of bullying, which we know is not true, or the lack of people's knowledge about it and wanting to utilize it, which is probably true. So he wants to use that money for kids who don't want to wear a mask to be able to go to a private school. First of all, he's already put the executive order in place saying that there can't be any mask mandates, even if the 3.5 counties are. No, let's just say 3, because Orange is not mandating it for students. So even if the 3 counties are ignoring him. So this is just some more political bullshit that he's doing in a state where we've had the most, 20,000 cases a day. I don't know how many deaths, but more and more cases every day, mostly unvaccinated people, but some breakthrough cases. And he's not caring about the safety of the kids. And that's the most annoying thing to me. I don't give a shit if he's a Republican, Democrat, if he's what's that Green Party, leaf blower party. I don't know. I don't give a fuck what he is, but he really is not taking. Yeah, that too. Is that what you are? I think we've talked about that. He is really not taking.
Whatever.
He's really not taking the health of the children as seriously as he should be, especially for kids who can't get the vaccine yet. Kids under 12, like you're basically sending them to a petri dish, hoping that they don't get the vaccine. Or hopefully, they don't get COVID. And so it's like, it's concerning. Like my kid is going to wear a mask. That's her choice. Like we told her, it's up to you. We don't want you to feel embarrassed. If you want to wear a mask, she's like, I'm wearing a mask everywhere I go. And she doesn't give a shit. So I love that. I love that she doesn't care what anyone thinks. And the school district likes to say that, oh, well, we put in new anti-bullying measures. So if they get bullied about wearing a mask, that will be handled. Yeah, like it's like you handle a kid who gets bullied for being fat or being different or anything like that. Yeah, I'm sure it'll work out well. I have no faith in that, but that's my little 2 cents on that. I don't know if you had anything else on that.
No, you ever look back on high school and regret some of the bullying that took place?
Oh yeah, like I was a total dick kid to multiple kids.
I remember one specific incident on our bus ride home that I am ashamed of greatly.
With me?
Me, you, maybe Jimmy.
Was it Scott?
No.
Oh.
No, not even. It was Carrie.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were assholes.
Yeah. I mean, little kids
by that.
Little kids are assholes. And so the only thing you can do is grow up and hopefully teach your kid to try to be better. And if you find out that they're acting in an asshole-ish way, you try to use it as a teachable moment. I mean, that's what I try to do with Sophie. You know, I try to tell her she needs to be nice to people. And I think she mostly is, you know, she's got my sense of humor. She laughs at, not to you. You're her uncle, basically godfather, whatever you.
No, I'm just sitting here. You teaching someone to be nice to people. I'm hoping Heather has more in that than you because you're not all that nice to people.
I am very nice to people. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
As we talk about these things, listen, I was bullied more in high school than the bullying I did. Okay. I remember being thrown around by my backpack by these stupid fucking jock football players. Like, grabbed my backpack, literally tossed me around and threw me down on the ground.
I had a mustard packet opened up on my back and during lunch one day, and then I got tackled on my way to my car one day. That's about it.
Kids are assholes, man. And so like I said, you just got to hope that for your kid, it's a little better. I would like to think that
I got tackled on my way to my car because he saw through the door of the classroom that I was talking to his girlfriend and she was laughing because we sat next to each other in class because alphabetically we sat next to each other in class. I'm like, you fucking kidding me? We're fucking talking. What the fuck?
I can't think of who this was or if I would know this person. It would be a G or an H. I think.
No. It was an F.
An F. Not in the main class. Different class, I assume.
No, it was English.
In our class?
10th grade English.
F.
Yep. That's the last name, F.
And beginning with an A, first name?
Yep.
Oh. And a football player boyfriend?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Dragging my tube out to my car, not paying attention, and car stopped next to me, and he ran around the back of the car, and I'm still not paying attention because it's not fucking my car, and just blindsided me into the field. And then hopped up and ran back to his car.
You should have taken that fucking tuba, man, and just wham, motherfucker.
Yes, I didn't even know he was coming. I know. He didn't yell or nothing. I didn't see him coming.
I know. So, I mean, listen.
I'm sure he's in jail somewhere.
You can easily look that up.
I don't remember his last name, but maybe I will.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I forget his last name too. So I have to look it up in the yearbook.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have the yearbooks right here.
He might not have finished high school, so you might want to look at the 10th grade year. What? All right. Asshole. What can I say?
The Norwegian Cruise Lines won their little case against Florida. They can now require proof of vaccination. Yeah, because they won their appeal.
Appealed or no?
It's going to be appealed for a while, but they won this round. So I thought that was pretty nifty. I know we talked about that a little bit. You know, I know you're like, oh, what if they want to know if you're HIV positive? But
that is the problem. When you start, letting people choose what they are going to require proof of. Hey, we don't want you on your cruise ship if you got STDs. We don't want that spread around on our ship.
Guess you're good to go. Oh, wait, you're married to Christine. Oh.
What the fuck?
She's not going to listen to it.
What the fuck?
Come on.
The same for you, but not because of Heather. Anyway.
Yeah, that's because of me. Low-hanging fruit, Jeremy.
Uh-huh. What the fuck? Messed up. Moving on.
You laughed about it. That might be the cold open.
You're a dick.
It's all about making me laugh, right? So that's not narcissism.
Apparently, is it?
All right, Jeremy. Fuck. Let's get to your favorite topic of the week. What happened in New York this week while I was on vacation, besides me being on vacation?
So the Attorney General of New York put out his report stating that
attorney generals can be females.
Okay, their report. I don't fucking care who it is.
It's Letitia James.
The Attorney General of New York put out their report that found that Governor Cuomo had sexually harassed and had inappropriate interactions with staff. And I'm just a little shocked how quiet the Me Too movement has been on this. I would have expected better of them if this really was, it seems convenient that all of a sudden they're not there talking about why he hasn't resigned. It's convenient. And I'm a little disappointed in a lot of people on both sides of the aisle that even the Republicans aren't talking about why this guy hasn't resigned yet as much as I think they should be. Because you had an investigation. You've had multiple people. His own, I think it was his personal secretary or one of his secretaries retired yesterday or resigned yesterday because of this. I mean, it's serious, and it's from everything that's come out, it's true. Yet nobody's calling for it. Nobody's insisting on it. The people aren't insisting on it. And it's not like this guy is, he's not that great. I mean, he fucked up COVID pretty badly. He lied about how bad he fucked it up. He sexually harassed people. I don't know why the people of New York are standing for it.
Are you done? I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, on Tuesday, August 3rd, which I believe is the day it broke, because you sent it to me that day when we were on our way to Niagara Falls, Biden, that's the president, he called on New York Governor Andrew Cuomo to resign after the details of the sexual harassment allegations. That's from CNN Politics, which is the same website you sent me. So Biden has called on him to resign. So that's one person. Now, I don't know if you talk about on a national level or on a state level, because I can tell you from a state level, whether or not you've seen the news from New York State, that most of the people that, like the Congress people, I think it was 150 out of 170 have already called on him to resign. And every major mayor, de Blasio, has called on him to resign. All three tri-state governors, including Massachusetts, is usually New York. He's the governor of New York. So Massachusetts or Providence, I apologize, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, those three, maybe Massachusetts too. They all called on him to resign. So there are calls on him to resign. Is it going to happen? It doesn't seem like he gives a shit about resigning. I feel like they're going to impeach him at this point. And if that's what has to happen, that's what's going to happen. And then whatever happens from there, I'm not for sure if it's a runoff or if it goes to automatic lieutenant governor, who's a female, a white woman. Forget her name, Hochul or something like that. So it will be interesting to see. I feel like if he doesn't resign willingly, he will be impeached. I don't think it's a matter of if. I think it's a matter of when, because when I was up there, as soon as this broke, and it hasn't gone away the entire time. It's gotten quieter, hasn't gone away. But I feel like now that this report came out, even if on a national level, not everyone's talking about it, even though Biden did call on him to resign, like a lot of other people, like I think you might be thinking in your head you would hear from, or even protesters or whatever you want to say, Me Too, whatever. I think he should resign. I don't know if that shocks you. I think. No, I mean,
you were defending him pretty hard there for a while.
I was not. What did I say? You don't have those quotes. I said if he did it, I'm sure I said something to the effect of, if he did it, then yes, he should. But there's not that there's no evidence, because I always want to say you have to believe what someone says, and hopefully there's some evidence to back it up. But the problem, that's also a sticky situation, because you have incidents such as the actor from Suicide Squad, Joel Kinnaman. He was in The Killing and a few other things. I haven't seen the Suicide Squad yet. Here it's good. But he just had a restraining order granted against a model or something who's basically threatening him to get him in trouble and tarnish his reputation. So he got a restraining order granted. Now, do I know enough about the situation to say whether or not he raped this woman or if it was consensual and all this kind of stuff? No, I don't. But that's the problem. That's why these investigations have to be done, whether or not it's just an attorney general investigation, a criminal investigation, a civil litigation. So, I mean, at this point, with the attorney general saying that they found that this did happen, I think he shouldn't resign. I think his ego's too big. I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to get impeached. When will that happen? I don't know. I don't live in New York. But if it, hopefully they stay on top of it. But you can't have someone who, if there is credible evidence of him doing these things, he shouldn't be holding an elected office. Oh, boom, Jeremy. Boom.
Proud of you. Surprised.
I'm not going to stand by a criminal as they fucking stay in office.
Oh, stay in office. Okay. I was going to say, you stood by OJ for way too long.
that was my bad. I was a kid. All I knew was OJ from Nordberg in the Naked Gun movies. I'm like, Nordberg, he didn't do it. No way. And then he releases the book, If I Did It, This Is How I Would Have Done It.
This is how it happened. Wait a second.
And the editor's like, whoa, you need to change that pronoun and that the text, the tense of that. It can't be past tense, or you can't say it like that because it makes it sound like you did it. Oh yeah, you're right. I gotta change that. Otherwise, people might think I did this. And so I'm going to MegaCon this weekend. By the time this releases, it'll be over, but people are dropping out of MegaCon like flies. And whether or not I'm looking at this post from 2 hours ago. DB Woodside, I know he's in a few things. I can't tell you what. He's like kind of what am I looking for? Character? No, not even character. He's just never the lead guy. He may have been. He's a black guy. He's more not a sidekick, but he's more the what's the word I'm looking for? Not an extra, like not the lead person, never the lead actor. He might have some lead roles in some smaller things, but Billy West, which sucks because he's a great voice actor, Futurama, Ren and Stimpy. Yeah. I don't know who Oscar Nunez or Kate Flannery are, but they dropped out. They had Brendan Fraser drop out earlier last week on the news. He got cast in Martin Scorsese's new movie, which I get. So he had a valid excuse. But all these other people, they're just dropping like flies. And no one's saying it's because of COVID numbers, but I wouldn't blame them for not wanting to come to a convention in Florida. It just sucks because... What? Go ahead.
You got to get some kind of refund out of it, you think, or no?
I mean, there's still going to be people there.
Shit is going away.
Oh, no. They don't care about that. Unless we request a full refund, which we can do to a certain point. I have to look at that. But Sophie wants to go. She's all about Genshin Impact, which is a game, and she wants to look for that stuff. And the Orange County Convention Center has mandated that everyone has to wear a mask. And if they're not, they're going to be kicking them out. So, I mean, I still feel comfortable going. I got to talk to Heather a little bit about it. It's kind of our thing we do every year. We don't really do vacations. This is kind of the one thing we do. And we've missed out on it for a year and a half. Do I want to put anyone's health at risk? No. We're all vaccinated, so I feel like we're okay.
What are you going to do with the dog?
Boarder. She likes going to the boarding place. She has fun with the other dogs. It's not like a place where they keep her in a cage all day. I don't think. I'm pretty sure they kind of run free and have fun and that kind of stuff. And then we have the one cat that needs to be boarded now too, because he has to be medicated. So we don't want anyone else to have to deal with giving him the medication. So that's an expensive proposition every time we go away.
Yeah, it is.
But listen, you only live once, right? YOLO.
Wow, you are way too old to say things like that.
Well, I mean, you only have 5 or 10 years left. You got to come to MegaCon one of these years, Jeremy.
Yeah, I got to work.
You don't have to work. You got vacation. You'd be like, hey, I want to take vacation for this time to this time. They'd be like, okay, Jeremy, vacation. You've been here long enough.
I just finished vacation.
Yeah, but why did you take those days off? Were you appointed those days off, or did you just choose those days?
No, I chose them.
Yeah, motherfucker. You could have chose August 12th through 15th.
No, that weekend's not a good weekend to take off.
Why?
No bang for my buck. I got training coming up. I got a good test.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
Talk about putting people to sleep. You put yourself to sleep talking about your work.
It's been long enough. It's time to go.
That's what she said. No. I know.
No. Wasn't good.
All right. Follow us on social media, The Usual Saints, at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Our website, theusualsaints.com, where you can see our latest interview with Harley Helsing and find wherever we're streaming. We're streaming, I think, on every possible app I could put us on. What else we got? You can email us, usualsaints@gmail.com, or our little names, Mike D at theusualsaints.com, Jeremy at theusualsaints.com, that kind of shit. All of this is on the website. You can call us 240-724-6877. And we will be back with our season finale after Jeremy gets done yawning next week. We'll see who shows up for the episode. We'll see if we can get an interview lined up. But that'll be our season finale, and I think we might take a little bit of a break. Even though Saints all about consistency, that motherfucker hasn't put out any episode of the USSR since Loki 2. So
I think he's only been on about 7 of the episodes this season too.
So we'll see. We might take a little bit of a break just so we can get. I kind of have an idea, and I'm stealing it from Shuli's show, and whatever. Shuli hasn't responded to me about anything, so he has more. He has people, they're kind of like Whack Packer-ish. I'm not trying to, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to doing that as well, but that would definitely be kind of some kind of thievery, even though whatever, it's creative. So I think each of us would almost have like more of like one thing that we have to do some research on each week. Like you're kind of a sports guy, so maybe you'd bring like the sports news to the week and we would talk about it and joke about it and that kind of stuff. Movies maybe, so maybe I could do that. Entertainment, I don't know what Vinny would do. Boring old people stuff. Oatmeal,
not show up. Not show
up. I was thinking like Wilford Brimley, like oatmeal commercials or cream of wheat or something like that.
Diabetes.
And say cover fish because that's what he knows. I don't know. Sort of. It's been a while since I talked to him. But anyway, we'll be back next week with our season finale, and we'll see where we go from there with season 3. But that's my idea, and I'm going to stick to it. 37 episodes a season. Rain, sun, snow, sleet, postal service. I'm delirious. I'm just fucking tired from jet lag today. Yesterday. All right.
Jet lag's not really a thing when you don't change time zones.
I flew from New York to Florida. I changed time zones.
No.
Thanks everyone for listening to The Usual Saints.
That's not how it works.
For Jeremy, I'm Mike D. That's the joke. Thanks for listening to The Usual Saints.
Fuck Vinny, he's not here.
Fuck Vinny, he's not here. Fuck Vinny.
That's it.